Assalamualaikum dan selamat kembali ke Fast TV. Hari ini kita ada satu yang agak special juga, iaitu kita sedang dipandu melalui Proton punya R&D Center dan kita akan masuk ke test track untuk memandu uji Proton e.Mas 7. Kali ini spesifikasi e.Mas 7. Nak kata final 100% mungkin tak, tapi mungkin 95% dah final. Ada beberapa benda lagi yang belum final lagi. Naik je jembatan ni, ni akan lintas litar ujian dan masuk ke dalam ke control center. Okey, so hari ni kita ada peluang untuk memandu Proton e.Mas 7 buat kali pertama di litar ujian Proton. So the first time kita akan dapat bawa kereta right hand drive yang full finalized specification mengikut Proton sebagai e.Mas 7, dan perbezaannya kali ini ialah proper right hand drive, full spec yang seperti yang kita akan dapat di Malaysia, tetapi sistem gantungan ataupun suspension masih lagi default menggunakan yang Geely punya dalam kereta yang kita bawa hari ini. So the suspension setting kita tak tahu sama ada akan berubah ataupun tidak, sebab orang Proton refuse to confirm or deny whether there will be any kind of retuning of the suspension. Personally, I'm happy with the Geely version, but some people complain floating. Tapi kalau siapa yang pernah datang kita punya event, saya dah tunjuk beza antara floating dengan driver tune suspension, dan you all pun tahu yang mana you all lebih suka. Jom kita masuk dalam. Okay, so kejap saya tunjuk ni ni mode ni. Kita tengok kat sini dia ada share mode, driver mode dengan private mode. Kalau share mode means semua orang dengar lah. Tapi kalau driver mode, nampak dia lah berbeza. Lighting ni dia tunjuk only phone calls and navigation are played through the headset stereo. So that's better, sebab kalau orang lain duk dengar lagu, tiba-tiba sekali dia duk stop berhenti nak ceritakan navigation. Ini bagus. This is what I think is the best mode. Kalau untuk private mode, that means semua except for alerts are played through the headrest stereo. This is a good feature bila waktu malam. Saya suka drive waktu malam sebab nanti passenger lain semua tidur. Jadi kalau passenger lain semua tidur dan you nak pasang you punya podcast ke, because typically malam saya akan pasang podcast. So kita tak nak podcast tu mengganggu semua orang. And then of course kita tak nak all the phone calls and the navigation to disturb everybody else sleeping. So this is a really good mode waktu malam, and this is for daytime. I think that's a really nice feature that they have here. So kita dah bawa dah kereta ni dalam format Geely 5, E5, but this is the first time kita bawa dia in right hand drive in Proton e.Mas 7 trim. That's what we're told. Suspension, tak tahu lagi. Siapa tak mau kata. So, we're still going to get the same feeling as before. Except that it's right hand drive. Dia punya suspension setting ni masih lagi Geely E5, which I'm perfectly happy with. So, there's a trend in now with Chinese cars yang kita first spotted dengan Neta X. Dan now we are seeing it in the Geely Galaxy E5. Is that dia orang punya setting ni memang sangat-sangat fokus kepada comfort, and you akan perasan that bila you langgar over poor surfaces, which we're not going to get to list sebab hari ni dekat test track, hari tu kita bawa, memang it feels like you almost boleh percaya that you're riding something that's close to maybe previous generation air suspension punya system. And this is true even for a lot of the other Chinese cars, which a lot of people akan complain, reviewers akan kata sampan lah apa ke, but to me, you see, I went into that corner just now, kat bawah tu, I sengaja purposely tak nak naik atas, nak tunjuk kat you, kata sampan ke tak sampan ke. This is still driving very well, even in the corners. And so, I think Proton might do well to keep a lot of the comfort features of this car. So this one is now, dalam ni berlumut sikit belah dalam ni. Saya saja masuk situ. You notice bila I tekan, dia keluar sikit, but there is no drama, there is no tire squealing, nothing. This is typical of these new electric cars. is because dia orang punya very precise throttle control, because you're controlling the motor directly instead of having to go through ECU, engine, gearbox, brakes and everything. So you'll feel that these things actually, they don't roll a lot. So this thing now, not rolling a lot at all. And I'm constantly feeding the power. And you notice or not, they actually cut back power tadi, tapi tak rasa apa-apa, because there's no engine cut off. Kalau tidak, kereta biasa, you akan mungkin rasa dia tak ada. This is the beauty of driving an electric car. So again, we're not going to go up there, no point. Kita duduk kat bawah ni. Can play with the steering, and it's nice and steady little car. I hope they don't change a lot with the suspension setting. And kalau kita nak tengok, there's a mode. There's a mode. You get the sports mode on. Okay, sorry, on sports mode. And it's not crazy powerful macam some electric cars. Even the Smart has that mental brabus yang anything below 4 seconds for 0 to 100, I think is absolutely unnecessary. And but it's fun to have, but it's absolutely unnecessary. It's just the way that EVs were built in the early days to impress onto ICE drivers that you can do a lot of things with it and match the performance. But now it's not necessary anymore. Semua orang dah faham dah tu, and what you get is something sensible like this. And what I'm kind of hoping for is that with sensible performance, we're going to get sensible pricing. And tadi masa presentation pun dia orang tunjuk kalau the prime is priced at 120 or less, then the pricing increase ex China would be around 75%. But if the premium, which is this one, is priced below 120, then the price increase ex China will be 45%, which makes it the lowest price increase ex China prices compared to other EV models yang datang daripada China. I think the lowest one was the Aura, which is about 60% plus China. So sekarang kita akan guna the inside road untuk basically the. So kita akan lalu sini dulu lah. So kita akan lalu dia punya, apa dia panggil tempat ni? Multi-purpose track. So this is the handling track. Dia tulis kat situ, handling. Kat sini you tak adalah apa sangat pun, dia bawa tu belah sana tu yang ada surfaces pecah-pecah apa semua nak rasa. Yang ini just little bit of a turning, rasa tightening radius sikit kat situ. Other than that, these new EVs they are very good and stable. So kita akan masuk ke staggered gate. So should be good. Let's see. So thing about EV ni, tak payah carry speed sebab dia ada instant throttle. So a lot of people nak bawa kereta EV, nak carry speed masuk corner, dan jadi masalah sebab kereta-kereta ni berat. So you don't try to enter the corner with too much speed. You just go down to whatever you think is the required speed. Just go down slightly below that and start to power out really early. So that way you'll get that stability from power. When you're on the power, the car normally just hunkers down a little bit and you have a bit more control and a bit more feel from the car. So change your driving a little bit when you're driving an EV. Don't worry about carrying speed into corners. Just power out early, really early, and you'll notice that you have a lot more fun with an EV. Kiri Okay, so ni kita akan sampai ke tengah-tengah tu, kita akan cuba buat 0 to 100. Lepas tu 100 to 0.
Braking threshold.
Okay, alright.
Like braking start dekat tu lah yang kon fast.
Okay. So dia punya time dia berapa?
6.9 seconds.
6.9 seconds. Okay.
Tapi masa sebab 3 orang, so dia lebih sikit lah.
Lebih sikit lah. Okay. Ready? Some cars saya dah cuba Macam EX30, kalau you cuba nak tekan brake and then tekan tu, dia tak ada macam dia akan jam, sebab bila antara you lepas brake dengan throttle tu, dia akan minta masa sikit. So you will not be able to do that.
Ini sama juga. Kalau tekan dua pedal, dia ada bagi loading.
So dia akan bob down and then baru dia nak pergi. So don't do that. So you let go and just decent, very decent acceleration. 100, okay. Sini brake.
Braking threshold je. Like braking, okay. Slow like this.
Okay. Itu saja. So ni pusing sekarang. Oh, skip pen. Lama tak masuk skip pen Proton. Masa Gen 2 saya ingat skip pen ni, saya dulu public enemy number 1 kat Proton ni. Sebab kalau you all baca cerita tentang power window tu, kita lah dulu tulis masa kat Malaymail. So bila kita datang untuk Gen 2 punya launching, Tengku Mahalil masa tu panggil, kau main sini. So, dia bawa kita pergi skip pen tu, dia buat saya drift lah, tunjuk. Dia tanya macam mana. Alah, ibu rally driver Tengku, bawa kereta mana pun nampak sedap kan. Puji dia sikit lah kan. Banyaklah kenangan kita dekat sini. So agak sedih juga kalau dia berpindah pergi ke Tanjung Malim dan fasiliti ni hilang. Very sad. So I hope that the government will come together with the Malaysian industry, automotive industry, to build a proper testing facility for the entire industry yang boleh share. Because I think that's one of our strength, is that we have the engineers yang capable of designing a car from the ground up from 2 companies, and they can now serve the world when they want to come and tune their cars. Especially since tak banyak tropical testing facility. Kat dunia ni kita ada hot weather testing facility, kebanyakannya dekat deserts, whether dekat US ke, dekat Middle East ke, North Africa ke, they on test, or maybe in Australia. But tropical testing facility kurang sikit. And a lot of the problem that we get with tropicalization ataupun acclimatization kat Malaysia ni is because of excessive moisture wreaking havoc in the system, and therefore we should build something to replace this. Dah melalut, tapi that's what it is. So what do you guys think of the setup untuk e.Mas 7 ni? I am kind of happy with it, although aku tak dapat nak try the sound system tadi. It is, I think, a good setup. So now we are in a competitor car. I think this is the most popular electric SUV sekarang. If you know, you know. If you don't know, I don't want to tell you what car it is. So kita akan buat benda sama, kita tak naik atas, kita duduk bawah aja, sebab orang kata kereta elektrik bawah tak sedap kan. Jadi kereta elektrik ni dia memang kalau masuk corner, hang masuk laju sangat, dia rata sebab berat. Tapi dia tak roll, tengok kereta ni dia tak roll. Even though I go into corner, dia tak roll sebab low center of gravity. In fact, kalau you baca all the literature tentang suspension design, kalau you design it right, these cars don't roll, even they roll the wrong way. Dia corner masuk macam motosikal pula, nanti kan dia turn tilt the wrong way. So they don't roll a lot. Center of gravity and center of roll kalau dah sama, dia tak roll lah. And kalau dia beza, tengok this one, even though this one suspension dia a bit more bersepah sikit lah daripada Proton e.Mas 7 tadi, but this is one generation earlier but even then you dah nampak tak the Chinese dah start to focus on comfort, which I think is the right way to do it, sebab kereta elektrik ni kekuatan ialah very low NVH. So bila kereta tu low NVH, you kalau boleh nak isolate as much of the world as possible, and as a result you want to design a car yang memang very soft riding lah. So of course dia ada trade off dia. Trade off dia yang ini is that maybe you feel that dia tak handle so well into corners, but the little trick like I said just now masa kita bawa e.Mas 7 is to slow down, and then don't have to carry a lot of speed sebab kereta elektrik ada instant throttle. So you just go down slowly and start to power out very very early, and you can modulate the throttle. Kalau you rasa you nak tekan habis pun tak apa, sebab all these cars ada VSC. You see, there's very little drama. But the difference between this and that is that you get a bit more control in that one. But you know, newer cars kan. So overall, kereta ni minggu lepas pun kita mereka guna juga sebagai benchmark untuk test drive Nissan Kicks e-Power. So beza antara company yang baru buat kereta dan company yang lama buat kereta, can be small tapi can be crucial. So yang ini dengan Nissan tu kita banding, memang handling tu ada rasa beza dia. So I'm expecting kalau Proton ubah pun akan ada perbezaan. But personally I don't see any real point in Proton making too many changes to the suspension. Focus on comfort, which I think is going to be far more desirable. Okay, so now kita again dekat the handling cost. So ni ada a bit of regen bila you lepas, so you can use it like one pedal operation. Little bit of squealing. Dan kita masuk the staggered gate. Again, untuk EV dia berat, so give it a bit lah. Tu dekat lah, rasa sikit. So even in one generation you akan rasa beza between the VSC, between the older one and the newer one. Yang the e.Mas 7 is less intrusive. My first experience dengan SUV EV ialah Kona, Hyundai Kona first gen yang dia buat masuk satu unit je untuk dia orang test. Yang itu kalau jalan lembab 30 to 50 km per hour dia akan scrabble and it'll be pulling everywhere. But when you get into say the Ioniq 5, which is just one generation later, it's a lot more power. Jalan basah pun dia tak ada scrabbling. Dia akan very precisely control the output, so you don't get a lot of scrabbling. So as the cars improve, they get much better. And of course untuk Geely, they have the luxury of having companies like Proton, Lotus and Volvo helping them out to make sure their cars feel a lot more composed. Nampak jangan gelak tau. Proton punya Ride and Handling ni, kalau dululah kan, saya sekarang pun masih lagi bawah pada 150,000, payah nak cari kereta sedap macam ni punya. So get ready untuk acceleration. Yang ni berapa dia punya acceleration dia? 7 point something ni. So 7 point something. So slow sikit pada the e.Mas 7. But yeah, you can't complain lah. These are all family SUVs, and hard braking dia keluar this hazard light. Sama e.Mas 7 pun sama kan, tapi tadi kita tak hard braking kat sini. Sajalah kat skid pad kan. So you boleh rasa lah bila you tekan throttle tu dia wide sikit, bila you lift or dia masuk sikit. These are things yang as a motoring journalist I'm very privileged to get to test all these things dekat tempat yang selamat macam ni. And other places you tak boleh nak buat benda macam ni, dan you tak boleh nak dapat kefahaman tentang kereta punya behaviour. The only other place yang you boleh buat benda ni sebenarnya ialah kat go-kart track. So kalau you nak training anak-anak you, bawa mereka pergi go-kart track, then they can feel what oversteer, understeer all feels like, and that is really important. Bagi dia kenal awal-awal benda tu, so bila dia bawa kereta nanti, bila dia macam mana kepala hilang akal pun, dia tahu dah rasa macam mana, what does it feel like when you're about to lose control, and that is absolutely crucial in driver training. Kalau Malaysia ni dia punya lesen L tu kena bawa go-kart 10 jam, kuasa ada perbezaan lah. Bagi basah track itu, hamba bawa lah, hamba rasa terror sangat kan. Basah betul-betul track tu, lenjan. Baru dia tahu macam mana rasa. Anyway, melalut lagi macam biasa. So yeah, the difference is noticeable.
Sampai situ saja video kita kali ini. Proton bagi kita dua tarikh embargo. Yang ini embargo dia untuk boleh tengok dalam, dan kemudian tarikh yang kedua masa hari pelancaran boleh tunjuk luar semua sekelas, semua ciri-ciri dia. So untuk hari ini saya fokus tunjuk pemanduan saja, dan memang kita rasa ada perbezaan apabila kita memandu kereta ni bila dia datang dalam bentuk Proton emas 7. Saya suspension setting tu saya rasa itulah dia. Dia orang dah improve sikit, tapi dia kata dia tak mau beritahu kita lah apa yang dia dah buat. Boleh rasa lah dia ada slight improvement, dan saya rasa sudah cukup. Jangan jadikan keras sangat. I'm quite happy with what they've done right now, and I hope they hold on to this specification. Even suspension tuning, talaan, sistem gantungan pun saya dah happy dah. Komen sikit banyak-banyak kat bawah, dan macam biasa tolong tekan butang like dan kongsikan sebab ramai kawan-kawan tengah cari maklumat tentang Proton emas 7 ni. Pemandu Malaysia, pemandu yang berhemah. Kita jumpa lagi insya-Allah pada hari pelancaran 6 bulan 12. Macam itulah.